now for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. We got a great show planned for you today, but let me first introduce my guest, my co-host, my man, none other than the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's going on today?
I'm always with you, my brother and my friend, always bowing to my man. Always honored to be with our listeners, and always our man up the other way.
Okay, do I need to give you the bell early? I gave you $20, man. I said lay it on, but I didn't say lay it on extra thick. Now, I don't have that kind of money, man. I just told you. And on the other side of the ledger is none other, of course, than my man from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Double J, tell the people what you say. And I'm so grateful and appreciative that you didn't talk ahead of time while the music was playing. Go ahead, Double J. What you got to say?
Well, I didn't receive payment. That's why I've held off this time around. But,
got you.
Always honored to share the stage with you both, and as we enjoy this 3-day weekend, definitely want to send a special shout out to those both active and former military.
Indeed. I was getting to that next. That was going to be my last but not least type deal, but I appreciate you covering that for us, Double J. And I just want to remind the people out there that are listening, please excuse the clipping, cracking noise that you hear. Unfortunately, we have been working diligently behind the scenes to try to correct and solve this issue, and we have not yet come up with a solution, so bear with us because we are forever, ever trying to get better, and we are working on it. We do have some new things in the works, but they will come hopefully by next shows go around. So, again, just if you could, try to listen to the substance of the show and the program, try to get past all of that stuff, but know that we are working on it. Yes, and again, like Double J just said, shout out to all the service members, because I, too, have people that fought in the service or were in the service in my family as well. And as I like to say, the sacrifices that they've made, for us are, you can't mention, to tell you the truth. There's nothing equal to, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that. If the country itself doesn't, I do, and we do. All right, here at the Shop Report in 786 Media. All right, let's dive into some of this action. Now, this menu is not full like, normally or as we like to do it, but nonetheless, there are a few items on the menu, some appetizers that I think that you all will enjoy. First up, of course, is none other than we do a return. We go back now. We've already discussed this on the show before in regards to the college athletes and amateur sports and folks and players, and compensation and things of that nature. We've had this discussion before, but I saw something the other day, and I'm pretty sure you all have seen it as well. Amid the college hoop scandal, NCAA's Mark Emmert, am I pronouncing that correct, Brother Rich? Emmert?
You are.
Okay, yes. Emmert, NCAA's president, of course, got a $3.9 million raise. Now, before you all respond or give your responses, let me read you all something that I think is in correlation to this. This is from a Facebook colleague of mine. His name is Vince Frame. And he said this, and I asked him, could I copy it? And I copied it to my phone because I just thought it was so poignant, straight and to the point, actually. He said this some time ago, well before we even discussed this whole college scandal, college athletes getting paid, because it's all tied in, right? And I meant to mention it before, but I, for whatever reason, didn't come across it again until the other day. And I said, let me talk about this as well. Here's what Vince Frame had to say. He said, it kills me that the schools can get money from these big corporations and then raise tuitions knowing it's struggling families out here. Now, how does this all tie in? Again, Mark Emmert got a $3.9 million raise. We already discussed what Nick Sabans and the Urban Meyers and the Dabo Sweeneys get. But yet and still, again, there's penalty for players. Everybody else is getting paid off their likenesses. We talked about the NCAA 2A, the EA Sports college football game and hoop game. So I ask you, Brother Rich, is it now a slam dunk? Because last week when we discussed this, it was talk about, you remember what you said, wordplay, the consideration, or they were considering, as if though there was still some discussion. I'm saying, in light of this new information with Mr. Mark Emmert, there should be no discussion. Huh? Just mapping out a plan.
I don't, Jay, here's the question. I don't even know that we needed this. I think this is just furtherance. If you were trying this case in court, this is the prosecutor would just say, Your Honor, this is just more evidence and furtherance of a crime. A crime has been committed here. And we all know that it's already been established. This is just further evidence in the establishment of a crime. This is a RICO Act. These are racketeers who have conspired while you're telling these young children, and that's what they are when we turn them over to you at 18 years of age, right? Naive young children, most of them, unfortunately, can't even read and write, you see? To the degree that they should be capable of. They've been passed along for the most part, because we're talking predominantly athletes here. So you're talking about really abuse from the door. From the minute they get engagement with these athletes, there's abuse here. And then you couple that with the understanding that people are making millions. Because remember, initially, we all knew there was something about this. We didn't have this kind of evidence that's coming forth every day. We knew what Ed O'Bannon, we heard it. We knew something was wrong. We knew they were making some kind of money. But when we began to hear that coaches were getting $10 million shoe contracts, a coach is getting a $10 million contract for me as a player who he can't even buy a hamburger for me. It would be a violation, not for him, for me. I'll lose my scholarship. He won't lose his job. He'll get a pat on the back or a smack on the wrist or a kick on the hand and say, oh, no, don't do that again. But the player becomes ineligible. This is, again, I close by saying, this is just further evidence in furtherance of a crime.
Yeah. What about you, Double J?
Well, there's a number of elements to look at here. Generally when executives get a pay raise, there's from, a profitable year or, just year-over-year numbers, things increased, which would allow someone to justify this. But if you were to look at last year with the NCAA, it was nothing more than a black eye. It couldn't have been, the opposite of that. What's interesting to this, a lot of people, throw golf under the bus because it's defined as a not-for-profit, no different than what the NCAA is at this stage. It is very hypocritical to see somebody getting a $1.5 million raise when if you were to buy a scholarship athlete a slice of pizza, they're kicked off the team. Taking it a step further, these guys have essentially shown that, they are making their livings off of the backs of the scholarship athletes that are getting peanuts. And hopefully here we're going to see some change. But again, as we discussed in the past, it was merely reactionary from the overall negative vibes that everybody has with the NCAA.
Yeah, and you said 1.5. I don't know if you're talking about Mark, but if you, in case you forgot, if you were talking about Mark, it's 3.9 actually. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, and we won't spend a lot of time on this because I'm with you too, Brother Rich. I just thought it was interesting that, like you said, it's further evidence. This thing keeps going on, and it just seems to be more. Every day is something new. It's something new. And to me, again, it's every new instance that comes out in regards to this just further says that the clock is ticking. Why are they waiting is my question to address this or to discuss this or again, we're past the point of consideration. There's no consideration here.
Jay,
I look at the picture over here.
May I?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to let you finish. Please finish your point.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the picture here and I say to myself, okay, how many millions of dollars that you all are making, the folks who, as a parent, I've entrusted my son or daughter to you two, you know what I'm saying? Y'all eating well. And then over here, you know what I mean? We got to fill out paperwork saying, okay, well, nope, you can't buy him no shoes because if your shoes, get some shoes from Uncle Charlie, that's a violation. Here, we got to sit up burning the midnight oil trying to figure out how to avoid violations. Meanwhile, y'all violating. I mean, come on, man. Go ahead, Brother Rich.
I just want to fish back on something Double J said as he was closing out his commentary and guiding us on this subject. And he said that he is the coach making millions and the player is getting peanuts. And the irony in that commentary is the player can't even have peanuts. You can't even literally give the player physical, literal peanuts.
Yeah.
If the player could even get peanuts, if you could say, I'll play here, I could go to the concession stand and they could give me a bag of peanuts for free. If they do that for me for free, it's a violation. If they do it for my mama, that's a violation. That is look at the kind of even the violation in our language. Again, I tell you, my man, I've been in courtrooms in America. I know I have been charged with crime in America, and I know, many people have been charged, and I know for a fact that they would need this much evidence to convict you for an absolute RICO crime for this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. You talk about courtrooms. Shoot, the idea in the courtrooms nowadays, it ain't about justice. It's about wins and losses. You know what I'm saying? You talk about courtrooms.
Well, speaking of courtrooms, don't forget that the NCAA, just over the past year, they weren't the only ones. Emmert wasn't the only one to get a raise. The legal expenses, that legal team got a raise as well because they went from $36 million to $57 million year over year. So they're preparing themselves for something. Again, part of that is, no different than Brother Rich pointed out in last week's episode with, their every statement that is released has to be double and triple checked. But, more importantly here, again, it is a crime. It's the Illuminati in plain sight. And ultimately, we're going nowhere fast with this. But if you've ever been a part of any of the board meetings, regardless if it's local government, Congress, nothing happens overnight. And so despite all of us screaming from the rooftops that change is needed and changes, and them reacting with changes on the way, those guys are going to meet for an hour, and they're going to say this is what's on the table, and they're going to delegate it to the parties that may be in existence to come up with a handful of solutions, and then they'll revisit it depending on how frequently or infrequently they get together. And when maybe in 2 years we may have something that's brought to the table. At that point, I'm fairly certain that it's not going to be just, and will be, then it'll be yet another, punch in the mouth to everyone, with the exception of Emmert and those that are
benefiting
in the NCAA.
Yeah, and, just like a lawsuit. You can file a lawsuit and get awarded $10 million, but it'll take 25 years to get the doggone money. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I'm interested to see how this thing plays out, and of course with this whole idea of social media and all this good stuff or whatever, we will definitely stay abreast of this. But they got to do something sooner rather than later. All right, let's talk about these finals. Now, you all know, as I said last week, this is the sound you'll hear. I'm going to start using it, okay? I was going to use the mute button, okay? When things get out of hand, I think I'll start using the mute button and the bell, okay? So please, I got mad respect and appreciation for both of you gentlemen, but don't make me use this bell. All right, let's talk about these NBA Finals, the 2019 NBA Finals, which, of course, pits the Golden State Warriors against the Toronto Kawhi Raptors, right? They square off in the finals. Many folks believe, because it's already been talked now, I watched the game last night, Kawhi is just a different type of dude. But anyway, we'll get into all of that. Many believe will be worse than the Spurs-Knicks in terms of how it's played. Brother Rich, do you agree with that, first off? Do you think
I absolutely disagree. think it's going to be one of the best NBA finals we've had in many, many, many.
I do too, actually.
Many.
I do too. Double J, what do you? You think this is the way it's going to play out? Do you think it's going to be one of the Spurs-Knicks type finals, or even worse?
No, I'm gonna disagree with that. I definitely feel it's going to have the caliber to be memorable, but I don't believe it's going to be one of the greatest of all time, let alone one of the worst.
Okay. Let's get to some of the key points or key components or the keys to victories for both squads. And as usual, I will start things off, and I will start with the Raptors. Like I said, in regards to some other teams, but I think I'm going to clarify it a little bit this go round. The Raptors, first off, let me say, I think Golden State will win. I just want to see a competitive finals. I really do. If it goes 7, kudos, okay? Because I am recording it, by the way.
No chance.
But the Raptors' best chance to win is to establish Gasol, Siakam, and Ibaka first. Start on the interior no matter what. And it's almost the equivalent or akin to in the NFL. What's the rule of thumb if you're an opposing team and you're playing against Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Brett Favre or one of them other quarterbacks that, you know, that everybody gushes about and gushes all over. What and you hear it every time they're playing somebody. What do you hear? You want to keep the ball out of those guys' hands, what do? You got to have 11 play purposeful type drives. Can't be no one play 97-yarders. Not against them guys. You keep them guys on the sidelines, ball control, right? You do that by running that ball. Keep handing it off as many times. Man, talking about the pass-run ratio got to be 90-1. They only threw 3 passes in the game, but they ran it 115 times. I seen the Patriots do it to the Rams, and Peyton Manning used to get it done to him quite often early on in his playoff career, all right? Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, when he was with the Colts, one year, even more so than the Rams, that Colts team, I don't have it in front of me, but that Colts team, they broke a record for all types of stuff. Manning in particular broke a record for like touchdown passes or whatnot, and then ran up into the Patriots, who got physical with them and only scored 3 points. You remember that, Double J. Brother Richard, you do too. 14-3 or something or another, I think was the final score. But anywho, my point is, yeah. Don't come out there shooting jump shots. Kyle Lowry. Now, he didn't have his moments, not to the extent that I'm used to him having his moments, but I think his moment is coming. But make no mistake about it, Kawhi Leonard is the reason, the main reason why these dudes are facing off against the Warriors. Brother Richard, we'll let you have your say. And remember, you are on the bell. You get 4 seconds. Go.
Well, Dubs in 5. I still think it's going to be a one.
That's the bell.
And here's why.
That's the bell. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, man. Go. Say what you
Dubs
got.
in 5.
Dubs in 5. I was going to give you the bell again, just because.
Dubs
in 5.
And
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be. I think what we're going to see.
Whoa! Wait a minute! Whoa! I just thought about what you said. Dubs in 5.
Dubs in 5. Because again, here's the thing. I think that we're going to see Kawhi. We've seen Kawhi's coming out party. We're going to continue to see that. But here's what people are underestimated, and you've heard me say this every time we have this conversation. I cannot understand how people underestimate that whatever you think about what basketball is, the Golden State Warriors are the epitome of what a basketball team is. And there is no basketball team. I haven't seen a basketball team in the last 5 years that can beat that team. If that team plays its best, no team can beat that. So that's why when you were telling me about Portland and Denver, Houston, just right now, this is not a
Stop
test for
saying
them.
Houston. I am not. Never at once did I ever say.
No, not you in the sense of the necessary you, but
in general. Okay.
Yeah, you in general say when someone will say Portland, Denver can get in Houston, man, Houston. And he said, man, this is why I don't understand. Jay.
Well, they
how do
wanted
people
Houston
make
to
all
do
this
it.
money on ESPN, and how do these people get money to write columns, and they're wrong every time. You're speaking emotionally. I'm a Laker fan. I have to be honest. The Golden State Warriors are the best basketball team I have ever seen in the modern era of basketball. Best. They play basketball. And if Kevin Durant plays any game, it's going to be on. If he plays, it's a sweep. So anticipation is he's not going to play for at least 2. They got these boys in 5 if they play around. But now, Kawhi Leonard is another conversation. But what we're talking about is exactly how we introduce them. Kawhi Leonard is why we're having this conversation, not the Toronto Raptors. This is Kawhi Leonard's will that has gotten them here. And unfortunately, I believe he's going to run out about that time where now he's not playing a one-hitter quitter here. He's playing a real team.
Okay, but wait a minute.
These boys are stacked everywhere.
Wait a minute. Yes, they are. No question about it. But let's be real now. We can't mention the fact that Kawhi is going up against this team without mentioning the last time Kawhi was facing off against these dudes when they were at full strength.
The squad he had in San Antonio? This totally different.
The squad, who was on that squad? Was Tim Duncan still on that squad?
Yes, he was. Manu Ginobili. They had a squad. That was a squad. You can't disrespect the squad they came with.
Okay, all right. I'm not saying
these boys he's going with. They changed the central machinery, the Toronto Raptors, but they still the Toronto Raptors.
Okay, that's fine.
These are retreads.
That's fine. That's fine. It's not well. I don't know. I don't know if was Siakam on that team. Yeah, he was on that team. I believe he was on that team last year. But here's the deal, though. With San Antonio squad,
I like the brother you just mentioned when you were talking about them earlier.
Pascal Siakam.
No, not Siakam. The other one. Help me.
Ibaka.
He played for Oklahoma too. Ibaka. Third, Ibaka has been all around. Ibaka is he's a retread. He's just going through the motions. He's a great player. That's what he is. He's a stick piece. But come on, you're telling me you're going to take Ibaka, you're going to take Siakam, you're going to take Kyle Lowry over.
I'm not taking them. See, you don't misconstrue what I said. I said for the Raptors to have a chance, the style of play is what weighs the most with me, not the stardom. That's all in it, but that's after I reach back in the bag a couple of times. When I first reach in the bag, I want to pull out that, remember the game on Price is Right, Plinko or whatever it is, the people reach in the bag, and the first one I'm pulling out is your style of play. Period. That weighs the most with me. Then on the tier is your decision making, Because let's face it now, Milwaukee, because I put a post out on Facebook, Double J, we'll let you weigh in here on a minute. I thought that Milwaukee Bucks would outlast the Raptors because of how much they had. But again, as we saw it play out, it was the style of play, the decision making. Signature players make signature decisions and signature plays in a game's signature moments. Does that make sense at all? I can point to every instance of every NBA Finals, regardless of who was what and who was what, and tell you that was a commonality amongst all NBA championships and won or lost in our lifetime. Kobe and Shaq. We already know what Kobe and Shaq was. Now I'm going back a bit. But if you look at that Portland Trailblazers team that had Scotty, you're talking about stacked teams, excuse me, Scotty, Bonzi Wells, Stacey Augmon, Rasheed Wallace, Brian Grant. I mean, that Portland squad was loaded, like these fries these folks be buying now, loaded. And what happened? Shaq and Kobe had a conversation. They're like, man, we ain't gonna even communicate no more. It's all strictly by the eye. I look at you, you look at me, we go get it done. And that Portland Trailblazers team blew a 14-point lead. Man, when you blow a lead, I like to dissect, like you did in science class when you took the frog and cut it open. I want to see what makes it tick. I don't just say, man, they blew a 14-point lead or they blew a 28-point lead. I want to look at why they blew the lead. And a lot of times, it be your decision-making. Nobody from Milwaukee, but we're not talking about Milwaukee, right? Yeah, you know what? Anyway, yeah, go ahead, Double J. Go ahead, weigh in. I'm not going to even finish that thought. But style of play is crucial. to me, it weighs 914,000%. Go ahead.
Well, the way that this series gets extended, first and foremost is the depth that Toronto has. And Anunoby may be returning during the finals. That'll be a boost to Toronto. But to your point about beating Golden State starts from the inside out. Lowry
having a chance to at least do that. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And so Lowry traditionally, just like salt and water, tends to disappear usually in the game's biggest moments. But unlike, Damian Lillard, that actually could be a benefit to the team because if he's not jacking up shots and making poor choices from that side of things, it allows for more ball distribution. Everyone knows that they're going to swarm Leonard and force the rest of the team to beat him. But again, where Golden State is weak, in addition to the current list of injuries that they have, is that, even with Jordan Bell, he's supposed to play in the finals. We don't know when, if that's going to be game 1, game 3, no different than Durant. And that's where it becomes, that's where the Warriors are most vulnerable, is lack of depth. And then, of course, their inside presence. I mean, if you're going to sign Andrew Bogut, in February, then you already kind of understand that, yes, they were anticipating a playoff run, and they anticipate the fact that they need somebody that's above 6'8", down low. So it'll be interesting to see who, the coaching matchup, the chess match aspect, because we know that they cannot go and try to beat the Warriors at their own game with just being able to shoot the ball.
And you know what? To Brother Richard's point, you have to lend and give an overabundance of credence to the fact that the Golden State Warriors are a brand that was built and not bought. You cannot get away from that. And as much credence as that is deserving of, what's also deserving of credence is the fact that every time Kawhi Leonard plays them, before, during, and after or since Durant, they have a problem with. Now, true enough, that Spurs team had a squad. But if you go back and look, I still say, I'm going to say it. I would love to have seen how that series would have played out when they was up 23, the Spurs were. That dude, he ain't no Jordan and he ain't no Kobe. But he my favorite player, he is. Not literally. I'm not comparing him to them. But what he has that they have, and everybody talk about a two-way player. I don't. That's just going to show you how rare it is nowadays for a guy that we used to do as a standard. Guy that played both ends of the floor. It's a two-way guy now. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, in case of emergency, break glass. But anyway, I'm telling you. Anytime that dude has played against these new Warriors, or these Warriors since they started winning, he has been a problem for them. He is a one-man wrecking crew. He is the one type of player in this modern era who his efficiency on both ends is second to none. His consistency is second to none. I'm telling you. I've watched this dude all the way from San Diego State, man. He is a different type of dude, and he's shown that ever since he stepped foot on the court. Greg Popovich even had to get in his chest. Like, look, man, stop trying to defer or be respectful of the fact we get it and we appreciate it. Timmy and Manu and Tony, but it's your time now. And you saw what happened when it's his time. Because at the end of the day, this dude was what? He was still eating Gerbers and won finals MVP? This cat's been in the league, man. That's not no accident. Man. He's my favorite player because once I seen him at San Diego State, man, I put the microscope on him, the J microscope. I put the tape in, and I've been following this dude ever since. And I always make reference to my son because he and I always go back and forth. I said, man, that dude is different. You ain't got to be that other guy, which I hate. He the next this and he the next. No, how about let's let him be Kawhi. but you can do what them other guys did, man. And I will challenge anybody to please tell me another player who is as complete as he is in the game right now, and he understands how to do it in the Today BA. Who's more complete? Again, not saying that the Raptors gonna win. I think the Warriors will win in 7, but I do think it'll go 7. I think Kawhi Leonard is more of a problem for them. Because I remember doing the first time out, actually, when the Spurs, he was with the Spurs and they played. During the first time out that Steve Kerr called, I distinctly remember Kevin Durant. You know how when they call a timeout, all the players start walking towards the bench. Kevin Durant was stuck, man. He was looking up at the replays of what had transpired up until the timeout. You know how they do the little replays in it. He was staring there stuck. He was the last person to walk to the sideline. Because Kawhi had just ripped him. Kawhi gives him the business. And they paid Zaza. They said, look, man, get him out of here. When you got to resort to that to get that guy out of there, oh, yeah, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. But, again, I just want to see a competitive series. I really do. And at the same time, Brother Rich, let me ask you this question. Even though I know your answer, but I still got to ask the question. You had me write all these questions down. You give your answer, and what I'm supposed to do with the questions? Exactly. Home court for the Raptors. No Durant for the Warriors. Do you give the Raptors a chance to get game 1, Brother Rich? Facts. Come on, Brother Rich.
If they get one, I said at least take them out of 5. They're gonna get one. I would like to at least give them one. If KD was playing, they wouldn't get any. But here's what I think that.
Okay, so if KD was playing, they wouldn't get. If KD was playing, they wouldn't get any. But where Kawhi fit in at?
Get one.
Where Kawhi fit in at?
Here's where he fits in. I think that again, the Golden State Warriors are the Golden State Warriors. Well, I'm not even talking about them at this particular moment. We're talking about the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors are in their first final since they've been a franchise for one reason only. It wasn't because they changed their coach or it was only one component that they've changed. Now, here's what I'll concede to you. I'm in total agreement with you on this point. In my humble estimation, from just what I've seen in the playoffs, because I picked up on the playoffs as we approach this, this is where I pick up. I agree with you. Kawhi Leonard is the baddest thing in the NBA. I agree with that. I totally can see that. Offensively, though, Kevin Durant is one of the purest things you have. And he's surrounded by a bunch of guys who play. This is why I say Golden State, because they play, when they play properly, when they listen to their coach and they play like they know they're supposed to and not goofing around. And when they play basketball, here's the issue with Kawhi Leonard. Here's where Kawhi Leonard is.
It's poetry in motion, that's for
Golden
sure.
State, correct. That's exactly right. Golden State, the team that will move the basketball. They understand. So you got Kawhi moving. To, who do you guard on a team like that? That's why a Draymond, when he's hitting his jumper, is so dangerous. And that's why Clay is so lethal. And that's why when you got Andre Iguodala and they talk about the death lineup, and that's why they're referred, because basketball, while you can look at them and say, wait a minute, how do you deal with a team like this? And now there's conversation that somewhere in this journey, Boogie is going to join them. So you think, wait a minute, I don't even know if I want to see Boogie, because I think it'd be unfair. Boogie, like, man, Boogie come, maybe KD should sit out, because at least we want him to we don't want Toronto to just get run over like NBA Max truck version of the end, because these boys can turn on the light and turn you off, and you anticipate that they're salivating to destroy Toronto, destroy them, because they didn't. Klay Thompson is upset. Steph Curry believes he has a point to prove in this final.
I rung the bell 12 times. I rung the bell 12 times. But go ahead. No, and I only rang the bell in this instance to say this. Having had a severe injury thrice actually, fractured collarbone. But anyway, that's another story for another day. I'm telling you right now, the chances on Kevin Durant
You don't
or Boogie coming back are nil. I know that's what everybody want to see in one of that. Anytime you have a non-contact injury, I repeat, a non-contact injury, I don't care if it's Steve Kerr, Johnny Cash, Guitar Johnny Watson, or James Brown himself with Luciano Pavarotti, okay? They might just go ahead and miss the party. Okay, I'm trying to tell you. Look, hey, if they do come back, kudos, clap, clap, all that good stuff. But if you have never, ever had a non-contact injury, and I'm not saying you, Brother Rich, because there's some people already out there that have been talking, yeah, he coming, Boogie coming back. To those people, I say, y'all sound like the NFL pundits who always are dismissive when it comes to injuries in regards to NFL players. You have not a clue. Believe me when I tell you, and I'm not proud of it, I ruptured the patella tendons in both of my knees. And the first one was a non-contact injury. And guess what? The doctor said to me 10 years later when I did the second one, he said, you didn't realize it, but you were so, even though you could walk again and all of that, you were so favoring still the left one that it made the right one weak and you were susceptible to. Believe me when I tell you, non-contact injuries you can overlook them and dismiss them if you want to. It'd have been better had he been pushed. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Or falling upon or something or another. Nobody around you and you injure yourself? I don't see it. And if you do come back, believe me when I tell you, it's not crisp. You might actually even mess up the fluidity, if that's a word or a term, to what they do offensively.
Is that the basis under which you're giving them a chance because you don't anticipate anyone? Because I believe you.
No. Don't blend the two. No. I'm giving them a chance to be competitive in this finals, not to win. The Raptors, I am, because of I got two words for you: Kawhi Leonard. Because I see every time he played them boys. I don't care when he was with the Shanghai Sharks and Jimmer Fredette was playing the wings. Just when he was with the Shanghai Sharks and Jimmer Fredette was playing the two, baby. You know what I mean? Yeah, it went down to the wire. Man, y'all better be glad Oscar Schmidt ain't in the building because it would be a wrap. But anyway, yeah, I'm two words, Kawhi Leonard. That's what I'm hinging, the competitiveness of this finals. I'm expecting it to be from Kawhi Leonard. Double J, what you got to say?
Well, I'm going to, agree with you guys both here that, it is going to be the Kawhi show, but it's not enough, man. You look at the cast, the other guys did before, they have the depth.
Okay, hold on. It's not enough. Let us be clear. Is it not enough for the series to be competitive? Because that's the only stance I'm taking here, fellas. Or is it not enough for the Raptors to win it? Because I'm not
like America and Iran, man. This is America. The Golden State Warriors is America. Chief. This is unfair. Listen to what he's telling you. This is not enough. They ain't got enough.
They don't have enough to be competitive.
Go ahead, Double J.
I mean, again, the competitive means it was close.
Okay, to make it a competitive series.
This is like participation trophies at this point. It's like,
Thank you.
But you lost.
So
you
disrespectful. So disrespectful. So disrespectful to Kawhi Leonard. Wait till I get my boy on the phone. And be like, you know what, man? Don't go to the Clippers, man. Don't go to the Clippers. I don't want Brother Richard to get season tickets. No. Come to
Cleveland. But that's the point.
Come to Cleveland.
If you want to go there, I will tell you that. Now, when he comes, next year, he's running the league. Now, everybody's going to be afraid of him next because now he's about to go get a real team. They're about to put a real team together. But with Toronto, they don't have enough. He doesn't have enough with Toronto. He doesn't.
They don't have enough to what?
You.
Double J. They don't have enough to win, or they don't have enough to make it worth watching.
Well, that's just it. It could be a combination of both here. We know they're not going to win. But, again, in terms of level of competition, of course, the professional athletes is going to remain a close game. It's the finals. So they're going to give everything that they have, but again, facts will be facts, and they simply do not have enough to win the series. There may be some games that, yes, are ugly.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. They're professional athletes, but again, if you could be a professional athlete all day long, but if you don't play like you should as a professional athlete, huh? If I call a professional plumber, huh? And he don't know what a plunger is.
Have you been watching Golden State?
I've been watching. What do you mean? What do you mean? I watched.
They playing better than anybody's ever seen them.
I've watched
They won
Davidson.
73 games. So
I watched Davidson with Steph Curry. I know all of these guys, man. I know all of these guys.
So where does the question come in about whether or not they're playing to a professional level? I mean, I think both sides are playing to a professional level. All we're saying, and I don't think I haven't heard Double J say it. I certainly have not said it. Nobody's saying we don't respect Kawhi Leonard. All we're saying is, see, this is what I told you before. You ain't gonna bring me no team that you say this guy's the leader of named James Harden, and you're not gonna tell me that team winning nothing. It's certainly not beating no Golden State. This is what I'm telling you. Kawhi Leonard will get you a game. This is like Philly going up against the Lakers. Iverson was good enough to get you a game. He's gonna get you a game. He's gonna make the series worth watching. All of us watched that series. I knew the Lakers, we was gonna blow their head back. And I didn't know how quick, but Iverson got you one, and he got you that one. Kawhi gonna get you one. He's one of those. He's at the apex of his game right now. He's gonna get you one. But like Double J said, come on now. You ain't
so disrespectful to Kawhi.
Much.
Woo! You know what?
Double J, did I disrespect Kawhi?
Yes. Yes.
We're rubbing shoulders here, saying, "Look, dude, we understand that you got it. You are a first team All-Pro. You are an NBA champion. You will likely be an NBA champion again. But facts are facts here that the current roster that surrounds you simply will not get you that next ring.
Okay.
Until
and I don't have a problem with that.
Not like him.
But here's what it sounds like y'all doing. Y'all sound like the guy in the State Farm commercial. The fisherman guy. Oh, you had $1. Oh, you almost had it. Y'all giving him credit, and then y'all taking it back. The dollar on the string, man. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Stop it. Well, I'm telling you what. Let's go on record right now. Brother Rich and Double J say that the Warriors will beat the Raptors by 15 every game in this series. Is that what you're saying?
You know what?
Is that what we're alluding to here?
Not every game. It will be competitive in some games, and as the Rich said, they'll get one. But the reality of it is this. To the Golden State Warriors, that Jurassic Park is a petting zoo to them.
Oh, that was cold-blooded and low. Oh. Really? Okay. Got you. Double J with the comedic, antidote here today. Got you. Mm-hmm. Still in my thunder, but it's all good. Oklahoma City Thunder, that is. Yeah, well, okay. Well, we'll have to see how this thing shake out. But
and Jay,
don't start.
Double J. Quick point. Double J would want Toronto. That's his neighbor. You think he would want them to win?
No, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Yeah. I'm neighbors with the Detroit Pistons. I don't want to see them win. No offense, Double J. You know what I'm saying? The Indiana Pacers, too. Yeah, being neighbors. I know people, I got neighbors right now. I walk past them, I don't say nothing. That don't mean nothing. Being neighbors. Yeah. Oh, don't wait nothing. That was a nice try. I should have gave you the bell on that was what I should have did. But I digress nice. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I just want to see basketball. And I challenge anybody that's going to be watching this finals, please do so with the mute button on, okay? And when you turn the mute button on, make sure you add an extra mute to the left for Brother Richard and to the right for Double J. That's all I'm telling the people, the viewers, the listeners out here today. Mute Double J and Brother Rich while y'all out there because, these two guys right here, man, they hit me with facts. you know what I'm saying, best team on the planet and all that old type of talk, man. You know what I'm saying? I thought y'all was on my side. What's the deal, huh? Y'all been converted by Colin Cowherd? What's happening here? Gee, my knees, man. I'm not saying that the Warriors won't win. I think they will. But I think it'll be a better series. I think it'll be better than 4-1. 4-2 maybe? Who knows? Who's your MVP of the finals? Double J?
Oh, without a doubt, it'll be
Kevin Durant. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, Klay Thompson. He's going to be the one responsible for limiting Kawhi's impacts throughout the series.
I don't think he can do that. I like Klay. They're gonna have to. No, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Kawhi is a one-man wrecking crew, dog. He a one-man wrecking crew. And see, that's the thing about it. When you have a player of his caliber and his attention to detail on defense, understanding he's the one player I've seen, man, even in a half-court set, you'll think that he's letting you go. You think you're getting by him, but what you fail to realize is he's allowing you to go the direction you want to go because he's funneling you towards the help defender. Or on the inbound, he understands how to use boundaries. He dictates to offensive ball handlers like no other player I've seen. And I'm not saying this happened in the case of the Warriors, but a lot of times, man, when you can do that, it's just this style of play in the NBA, I can't say it enough how terrible it is. Just simply from the fact that nobody stops the ball. Nobody even attempts to stop the ball.
Right. You're absolutely right.
If you attempt to stop the ball, it can change the complexity of a game and a series just by doing that. Because look, the 24-second shot clock, it is just 24 seconds. If I disrupt you, man, timing. If I disrupt your timing, then now you're up against the time. Hey, I'll take my chances with whatever. I'm not going to beat myself.
Look what you just said. Ultimately, that means he went up against teams that don't play that way. And he's about to face his first test, at least throughout these playoffs. But
he's already seen the Warriors. He's already seen the Warriors. The Warriors are the same Warriors, except for Boogie Cousins. He's already seen the Warriors. See, that's what I'm saying. He's seen, not only has he seen this Warriors with the Kevin Durant version, without the Kevin Durant version, and he's seen the Miami Heatles. When you're talking about putting talent together or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? So he's seen the caliber. He's seen what hasn't he seen?
Again, but you're thinking singular. You're forgetting team.
That's why I'm wondering, Double J.
Oh, okay. Okay, so now we're talking
team. Jay,
it's a team.
You're talking about, look, Kawhi, in my humble opinion, whoever, let's say he gets 50, 25, and 17 and 9, and he locks down Kevin
Klay Thompson. No, Durant is not going to be playing.
I'm putting it out. Let's say he locks down Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Then what happens with Klay Thompson? What happens with this one? What happens with that? Is he going to lock down everybody on the court? Is he going to lock down Draymond and rebound? Is he going to lock down Draymond's defense?
No.
Because now you're saying to me that when he's busy, you're telling me that after he dropped 50, you need Kyle Lowry. That's what you're telling me. You're relying on Kyle Lowry to step up and give you whatever So here's why. Double J said Klay Thompson is his MVP. I firmly believe this is Steph Curry's final to finally come and get his finals MVP. Because Steph Curry is going to abuse the Toronto Raptors. Abuse them.
And you're just going to leave it on that note? Okay. I'll say this. I couldn't disagree with that because he's abusive in that way.
He's going to abuse them.
But I'll say this as well.
Playoff.
I'll say this as well. I agree with Bill Belichick. I'm taking away whatever it is that you do best. Or at least I'm going to be willing to. And then we let it play out how it play out.
How are you doing that, Jay? Tell me. How you doing it? How you doing it?
Whoever is bringing the ball up off the inbound, I don't care who because, you know, the Warriors, they real good for, you know, Steph is the primary ball handler, of course. But on the initial possessions when they bring the ball up, you know, they'll have Iggy bring it up, you know, Clay bring it up, Steph bring it up.
That's what I'm saying. The Warriors are a team that 5 people can bring the ball up.
Yeah, 5.
Draymond Green can bring the ball up.
Yes,
anybody can bring the ball up.
And guess what? If I'm picking you up early, whoever is bringing the ball up, you're not running from end to end. You're not doing it. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to allow you to run end to end. And again, this is not a knock against the Warriors and what they do. They are, what I say, a symphony, poetry in motion. Did we forget that I said that too? But I'll say this. I don't care who you are and what basketball team you play on. If you, as the defense, allow an offensive player to run from once the ball is passed in, all the way to the other free throw line before you decide to address who let you in here. How you get all the way up in my mansion, all the way up in the kitchen making the sandwich? You got past all my security guards, and I'm the one that kept. How you get in here? I'm addressing whoever's bringing the ball up. You have to extend your defense in the end, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But we have it on record. Brother Rich says that the Golden State Warriors will beat the Toronto Raptors 35-7. And Double J, you saying what? The Golden State Warriors will beat the Toronto Raptors 41-10? A missed extra point? Or 41-9 with a mixed extra point? Is that what you're saying here?
You got it. Maybe 43 out of safety in there.
All right. Well, guess what? I tell you a team that the Golden State Warriors don't want to see, Brother Rich. You ready for this?
What team is that?
The Cleveland Browns, baby. You understand? Because Baker could take them down. Baker couldn't do Steph couldn't do nothing with Baker. Mark my words. Baker. Yeah, because guess what?
I know Toronto Raptors. I know Drake hopes that better hope that shows up on Thursday.
Who cares? Who cares about Drake? Yeah. All right. See, I'm not in all of that. You know, like when back in the day when Deshaun Stevenson, when the Cavs was going up against the Wizards, when Deshaun Stevenson and Brown was going back and forth, they both had.
Isn't he reported to be the Raptors' #1 super fan or something like that? He's all over Twitter with that.
Yeah, but
you see him all over Twitter with.
But that's not being reported by the Shop Report. Okay, or none of his constituents. All right, no, we don't. I don't report on drama. I mean, I only know Drake from seeing him a couple of times on TV. I'm not a come on, man. Now I don't the super fan. Some are calling him a bad omen. I think I even called him a bad omen. I guess I don't know, but yeah, I don't get off in all of that. You know me. It's all about strategy. It's that orange peel, man. That peel is what got me still to this day. It's the peel. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the peel. Yeah. Okay, so before we go on to our last discussional point of the day, let me be clear. I got you on record, Brother Rich. You saying the Golden State Warriors beat the New England Patriots. I'm sorry, the Toronto Raptors, my bad, Jurassic Park style. They whoop up on them, right? They eat everything in the jungle, right?
Couldn't have said it better.
Okay, good. And you, Double J?
Likewise.
Got you. Boy, I tell you, it's time to find some new co-hosts. All right. Last but not least, I'm sure you all have seen by now that Sean Porter and Earl Spence will be squaring off in a welterweight unification bout like no other, as they say. But you know why I'm interested in seeing it? For 2 reasons, other than the fact that it's Sean Porter and Earl Spence. They are fighting at the Barclays. And no pay-per-view. I repeat, no pay-per-view. Brother Rich, you liking this?
Absolutely. if you go back and reflect on when we had our boxing show, and this is one of the recommendations that we said at that time, that in order to get boxing popular again, you got to bring it back to what it was on television. It was quote-unquote free or quote-unquote cable, so that people, the average fan, can get interested in it again. So isn't that how UFC was free at one time? It was something that just was a novelty sport and grew into what it has become today. Boxing has to go back to its roots, where it wasn't always you had to pay. You mentioned this at the boxing special you had, where you talked about how who wants to pay $100 and how many dollars for a fight. Most people are not going to do that. So the reality is that in the economy today, the way the world is today, absolutely that's the route to go. Then you get people familiar with the fighters again, and then you set up maybe 2 or 3 big fights a year, mega fights, and then the fans are more apt to pay for that kind of thing. But after that, I think this is only the boxing can become a sport of interest in the American populace.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. But at the end of the day, this fight is ho-hum to me. I'll watch it, but it's ho-hum. I'm a Sean Porter. I'm biased. Sean Porter, he from the land, but he a good. He not just. I'm not rolling with Sean because he's just from the land. I'm from Cleveland. No, I've spent time with this guy and his father. I'm telling you, man, they embody the example of what a father and son, in my estimation, should be, especially in that sport. You get what I'm saying? Because we know the issue that Floyd had with his father. And, after a while, Sugar Shane Mosley, and his dad, had to part ways or whatnot. So, we've seen a lot of families, split, so to speak, for lack of a better word or term, and when it comes to that fight game. But these guys have managed to hang on, so to speak. And they're just good, genuine people, man. And the time that I spent with them I can't think of the name of the gym. I think it was Gold's Gym, actually, off Aurora Road here, when earlier on in his career, when they were training up there, man. You just see they have a camaraderie, man, that I just think is overlooked, especially in that industry. They that like with Prince Nassim, I was talking to some guys and we were discussing Prince Nassim. He got caught up in wanting to, and like Broner, do I want to be a boxer or do I want to live the limelight, being out and about or whatever, and it throws you off a little bit. Well, these guys have managed to stay grounded, or Sean's father, Ken Porter, has managed to has maintained a level of look, let us not forget why we're here. You know what I mean? So I'm pulling for Sean, I am. But Spence, man, Spence hit hard, man. He do. Spence is a different type of boxer, man, But I see this as a slugfest, so to speak, not necessarily really a boxing boxing match. But I do want to see it. But it's kind of ho-hum, It's not. Now, the fight I would be all amped about seeing is Spence and Bud Crawford. But we'll talk about that some other time. Go ahead, Double J, weigh in.
Well, I'm going to agree with you. I think there's going to be fireworks leading into the fight. I'm going to agree with both of you that the fact that it's not a pay-per-view or you have to jump through any kind of hoops to have access to it. It's something we've been stating for, I feel like, about 2 years now. However, again, as far as the fight overall, I'm going to totally agree with you. In my opinion, this might be the fight that splits up Sean in his father.
Really?
Because I simply feel, because, the only way that Spence loses this is that Sean can really get him against the ropes. You look at Spence overall, from the footwork, command of the jab, his body blows, and most importantly, that I can't, really hone in on this enough, is the distance management. Those are the things that, rounds 4 through 9 will allow you to command and remain in control and force, in this case, Porter to really come out of his comfort zone and take more risks. And unfortunately, that usually leads to a KO.
Yeah, but you know what though? That's my reason. That's the reason for why I say that I want to see this fight, because it's free, not because I'm a fan of Sean and I'm a fan of Spence. Normally it's the names. When I see the names, I recognize. I'm like, oh, I got to see that one. You know what I mean? But in this case, again, it was, I got to see that because it's not on pay-per-view. So that should go to tell you something. But you know what, too, though? The real talk, Spence, as much as I like Spence, man, he lightweight cheating. And I think we mentioned this before, but I'll say it if I did, forgive me for being redundant. If I didn't, for the first time, listeners, here we are. He shouldn't be fighting at welterweight, man. He should be fighting at I forget, what is it above welterweight? Super? No. Middle, right?
Yes, middle.
Yeah. Oh, man. I forgot my weight classes. That's goes to show you. You know, I used to be on top of all of this stuff.
Middle.
Because the quality of fighters nowadays is just, it's passe. You know what I mean? And I think that Bud and Spence would be a quality fight. And that's the fight that, now that's a pay-per-view. Now, I don't know what the price tag. I'm sure if that go down, it's going to be at least 70. At least 70. It might hit 99. No, it ain't going. I don't know. Floyd, that's Floyd's territory, Floyd and Manny. But, man, the quality of fights, they're just, fighters or whatever the case may be, it's just not what it used to be, man, So that's the only way they're going to bring me back is to they got to make all of them free, except for that Bud and Spence, though, because I would pay for that. Yeah. And I got Bud. I don't know who I got in that one. But anyway, yeah. So, I mean, this is good for boxing. The fact that it's pay-per-view. I mean, it's not on pay-per-view. And I think it's on the PBC network, too. I told you I like them. The NBC's PBC. They do. Is that ESPN connected? Double J.
No, I believe that's Fox.
Oh, Fox. That's right. Excuse me. Yeah, Fox. They do a good job with that. Yeah, putting on fights. You know what I mean? Worth the. Not channel surfing once they come on, so to speak. Because you know me, I'm a clicker. Click, 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 click. It's got to be some live action. Commercials, can't say I hate them, can't say I like them, but I guess you need them when you're in this industry, so to speak. But, yeah, I'm a clicker, and that's going to be one. I don't know. We're going to see, man. We're going to see. Let's say Sean beats Spence somehow, some way. Now, is that Spence-Bud fight, is that a done deal? Sort of like Manny when he got knocked out by Marquez. Now he keep talking about Floyd. Floyd's running from me. Floyd's scared. Yeah, okay, but I just keep picturing you laying on your face, and that don't weigh nothing now. But go ahead. What you say?
Well, I agree with you there that he's delaying it. Secure the bag as frequently as you can until you don't have a choice.
All right. So then, do you see a knockout in this one?
Personally, I believe so. Again, the one stipulation to that would be, of course, Porter has the ability to get it flustered out of his game, but if all things remain constant, it's going to be a Spence knockout due to just simply winning the first, I would say, 5 or 6 rounds.
All right. And what about you, Brother Rich? Who are you rolling with in this one?
I like it, especially in boxing. I kind of like to roll with the story and the underdog. And from what I've heard, seen, and certainly what I just heard from you, I got to roll with Foster and give him a quote-unquote puncher's chance. Because from what I've heard and read about him is, his work rate is he's a hard worker in the ring. And so
now that's for sure.
A fighter like that always has a chance.
Yeah, he definitely. When I say he puts in work, I mean there's only one other guy that I could even put in that how he works category, and that's Floyd Mayweather. Couldn't stand his mouth, but that's one thing about that dude, man. That dude puts in work. That dude for sure enough puts in work, man. Yeah, Sean, he does. He works. I mean, I think that when I first started going up there to the gym with them guys, man, they would be up there for like 2 or 3 hours. And the breaks in between were minimal, minuscule or short, and they would be right back at it. And what I like about that too, though, when he was spar, because that's a lot of times I was up there when you have like little sparring sessions or whatever. He would spar bigger guys who hit harder, heavier. So this is gonna be interesting, from Spence, Spence, like I said, should be fighting in a heavier weight. He should be fighting a weight class up. He shouldn't be at welterweight because he walks around at what? What do he walk around at, Double J? 160?
Yeah, he's usually a little bit heavier,
Yeah.
and that's why he's been able to kind of, I think he made slight work at Cal Brook, and there's been talks, where both he's actually calling out Canelo at this point to move up as well. So it's interesting. Oh yeah. It's that's why, and it's no disrespect to Sean Porter, but that's why I keep stating that. He's taking care of his business, continuing to get these checks, and he's going to ultimately start taking some risks. And you're going to, I believe, he's going to get your viewing dollars here pretty soon as well.
Oh, so Spence there. See, I didn't see that. So there's some conversation about Spence fighting Canelo, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see, because, again, they both have fights on the books here, within the next few months. And then, at the conclusion of those, depending on the results, of course, we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, and I do know that they kind of flip-flopping on the date. I think it's be August of this year or September 1st, August 31st or September 1st. They haven't really yet decided on an actual date just yet. But nonetheless, it will be at the Barclays. Brother Rich, I know you own a suite at the Barclays. You think maybe you said I can't come to the.
I did, my friend.
Oh, say
you just can't come to. No, you cannot come to the parade.
I know. I know. I was getting ready to say.
I want to reiterate that for the listening audience. He owns the show, all the rights, but he cannot come to the Browns parade. No, he can't.
Okay.
I love you. You're my brother from another mother. You cannot and will not be allowed to come to the Browns parade.
Okay. Yeah, it never fails. Every show, somehow or another, we could be talking about how to cook chicken in a crock pot, and somehow, way, Brother Rich is going to find a way to say, I can't come to the parade. Yeah. So, I mean, that's fine. I'm out. I'm nixed out of the parade. I mean, I just bought a fresh pair of bunny slippers anyway because I got the best seat in the house, at the house for the parade. But nonetheless, can I at least come to the Barclays to watch the fight with you? I hear because of the suite that you bought, the popcorn is half off. I'm just saying.
They don't let Laker fans in the Barclays.
Oh, no? Well,
we kicked your boy. We kicked your boy out. He mad. He's still mad at all the Laker fans.
Who was that?
Still mad at all the Laker fans. What's my man that was videotaping his boy?
You talking about D'Angelo? Oh yeah. No, not D'Angelo. Yeah, that whole fiasco. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. All right. So, Spence Porter. I hope it's a good one. Whether it's the 31st this August of this year or September the 1st. I do look forward to seeing it again or once again because it is on pay-per-view. Any last words on the finals from either of you two gentlemen? Plus or minus? BPI? No analytics? None of that?
Dubbed in five. We welcome the great Kawhi Leonard to Los Angeles, California, and the Clippers for his next go-round.
Yeah, got you. I should have gave you the bell. What about you, Double J?
Yeah, smart money, scared money, all on the Warriors.
Yeah, that seals it. I got to find two new co-hosts. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to the search box and you type in the Shop Report. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, and, of course, via email, the shopreport365@gmail.com. Spotify and Google Play will be coming soon as well. And if that don't work, Google it. For my guests from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich, and my man up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J, and all those who follow us on social media, we say thank you for your support. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.